Hey Leo, let's see what's going on in your love life. This is a tarot love reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and of course for any of you lovely cross watchers dealing with a Leo romantically. Now I do like to remind you, Leo, these are general readings, so they may or may not resonate, and you're always welcome here to take what works and leave the rest. So we're jumping right into it today, my lovely lions, and we're gonna see what could be coming toward Leo in love. First message coming out for Leo today says, I remember every detail of that day. Interesting. Okay. So there's obviously something significant about a particular day between you and your person and something that happened on that day. So let's see where it goes. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Leo right now. I'm afraid to contact you. Well, whatever happened between the two of you on that day, your person looks like they're now scared to reach out to you. So my question for you, Leo, is what happened? Did they do something? Did they say something to hurt your feelings? It feels like something challenging went down between the two of you, and it kind of feels like you're probably in a space of no communication right now. They're not reaching out, you might not be reaching out, and there's some tension and potential conflict between the two of you. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Leo right now. I bury myself in work to forget you. Great. Okay. So I might be a little bit sassy today, Leo. I sigh. Okay. So here's the thing. This is somebody who's distracting themselves. This is somebody who, instead of dealing with the issues, is focusing on everything else so that they don't have to think about what went down between the two of you. I find that frustrating. Like, I'm immediately feeling frustrated when I pull this energy, and I feel like that's probably reflecting how you're feeling right now, Leo, because it's like, obviously something has happened between the two of you that you need to talk about. You need to clear the air. You need to resolve this issue. But what are they doing? They're not reaching out and they're distracting themselves with other things. So instead of dealing with the issue head on, instead of addressing it, instead of coming to you like a mature adult and having a conversation, it looks like your person has basically gone into like this complete avoidance of the issue, which is frustrating. I feel a lot of frustration, and I think that's probably how you're feeling. So, bit of a tricky situation, Leo. Here's what we're gonna do for the rest of the reading today. I feel snarky today, by the way. So we're gonna dig into this and we're gonna look at your person's overall energy, what they might be feeling and what actions they might be taking right now. I will look at the same thing for you, and then we will look at the potential outcome. So let's just kind of see where it goes. Tell me about this person who Leo is involved with, please. Okay, first card coming out is the Five of Cups. Here's what I think happened, Leo. I think they let you down. I think they disappointed you. And I'm so frustrated on your behalf, you guys. The big energy that's coming through right now is frustration. And it's just like washing over me. Like I'm almost like, I don't even know what to say. Like, this is confirming to me that they did something to let you down. And I think the frustration is that your person doesn't seem to be taking action to deal with it. The Five of Cups, I've said this to you before, Leo, it can be a card of self-pity and woe is me. And it kind of feels a little bit like that's the attitude that your person is taking toward this situation. So they're looking at it and it's like they did something to frustrate you, to let you down, to hurt you. And then instead of dealing with it, they're having this pity party where they're like, woe is me, now I'm in this situation with Leo, it really sucks, I don't know what to do. It's a definite pity party over there for your person. Tell me more about their energy, please. The Devil. Great. Great. I'm being sarcastic, obviously. Okay. The Devil's not good in most cases, right? The only time that the Devil energy is really positive to me is like if all the other energy is really good, then the Devil to me can just indicate like a really strong lust and attraction. But when I'm dealing with a reading where we've already had some challenging energy, the Devil is a big flippin' problem here, Leo, because it represents something unhealthy. It represents something toxic. What this tells me is that your person let you down with the Five of Cups, and then they're dealing with it in an unhealthy way. That's what it says to me. So with the Devil energy, this could be them emotionally shutting down, not talking, not communicating, hiding their feelings, pulling back, distracting themselves, maybe even indulging in things that are unhealthy. Maybe they're overeating, they're not taking care of themselves. Like the way that they're coping with this situation is not in a healthy way with that Devil energy showing up. Tell me more about this person's energy right now, please. And then the Empress. Okay. I'm going to tell you what's coming to mind here. So the Empress is Typically, it's a very like loving, abundant, nurturing energy. Now, what you can see here, Leo, the Empress is pregnant, okay? You can see that depicted on the imagery of the card. Sometimes, depending on the context of the reading, the Empress can give me like a mother-child kind of vibe, right? Now, that's a problem in an adult romantic relationship, right? Because that should not be the dynamic. It should not be that you're always feeling like you have to be, in the parent role per se. So what that means is like always having to be the grown-up, always having to be the mature one. And I wonder a little bit if that is the dynamic between you and this person, where you're kind of like, when are they ever going to grow up? Because you feel like you're the responsible, accountable one within the relationship, but they are not. And you are constantly trying to like help them grow up. But the way that they approach things is an unhealthy way based on that devil energy. So take it or leave it as always, but let me know if that connects, because I'm definitely getting a bit of that dynamic where you're the mature one and you're always having to like kind of be that parental type figure, if you get what I'm saying. Okay, tell me what they could be feeling. The Judgment card. I feel so sassy. What came to mind was good for them. The reason that's coming to mind is because I feel like they're sorry for what they did and they want you to forgive them. But like, how the heck do they expect you to do that, Leo, if they're not talking to you? You know what I mean? Like, the frustrating energy is continuing. I think internally, your person feels bad. And I think internally, as we saw with the Five of Cups, maybe they're having a little bit of a pity party right now. I think they do want you to forgive them. But like, in order for you to forgive them, don't they need to do something? Like, don't they need to like come towards you and say they're sorry and take responsibility and clean up their act? Right? It's like, you're not just going to forgive them when nothing has happened and when they haven't done anything. Okay, tell me more about what they could be feeling. Six of Pentacles. Okay. Interesting. Six of Pentacles is about balance and reciprocity. I think there has been an imbalance in this connection. My sense here, Leo, and you can let me know if this resonates, is that you've probably been doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the relationship. It kind of fits with what I said a moment ago, where I'm like, with that Empress, there could be a little bit of that like mother-child dynamic where they're just not growing up and you're having to be the responsible one. So when I look at this energy, it's like, I think your person does realize there's an imbalance, but like, my question is, are they even doing anything about it? Because it doesn't really look like they've been doing anything about it. Tell me more, please, about what they could be feeling. The Emperor. Okay. They act all cool, calm, and collected, but that's not what's going on below the surface. I feel like there's a level of emotional detachment that can sometimes come through with the Emperor. And the funny thing too is that the Emperor is often very connected to the workplace. So when I see that showing up in a love reading, Leo, it tends to be someone who does really well at work, which is usually a good thing. But look at this. Remember, we had the Oracle message, I bury myself in work to forget you. That's what the Emperor is. So it's kind of just confirming that, yeah, they know that there's a problem. They want you to forgive them, but are they doing anything about it? No, they're just like focusing on other things that are going on instead of addressing the issues. Okay, what actions could they be taking? I'm feeling so scandalized on your behalf, Leo. What actions could they be taking? Three of Wands, interesting. Three of Wands is about thinking about the future, imagining a future between the two of you. Okay, tell me more about what actions they're taking. Eight of Wands, all right. Maybe they're gonna get off their butt and do something, maybe. Eight of Wands is a card that tends to indicate communication coming towards us. Maybe they're finally going to realize they need to stop entertaining the pity party. And if they do want a future with you, they got to start doing something about it, right? Nothing is going to change if they don't change their behavior and do something. These cards could indicate that maybe they're starting to realize that. And with the Eight of Wands, they could be communicating with you. They could be reaching out in the near future. Let's get one more card about what actions they're taking. The Fool. Okay. I mean, this is a card of a fresh start. You might hear from them. They might be asking for a fresh start. The interesting thing with the Fool is that sometimes I do like to point out that it can be a little bit of a naive type of energy. Sometimes it can be the energy of somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience. There's an immaturity. So I wouldn't be surprised if your person goes from not contacting you to reaching out. I think there could be communication coming your way, Leo, from what I can see with these tarot cards here. I think your person does want to be with you, but like, if I'm being quite frank with you, I'm seeing a lot of immaturity in their behavior. So in my opinion, this is not a tarot thing. I'm just kind of looking at this, Leo, and I'm like, okay, they might have a realization that the way they've been dealing with this is not cool. They might reach out. You might start to see them taking action after a period of them not dealing with any of the issues. But there are themes of emotionally shutting down, being immature, not dealing with things in a grown-up way. And in order for the two of you to move forward, if it were me, I would be wanting to see if there's any changes in those areas. I'm just kind of reflecting that. It's like, I feel they're reaching out, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they've dealt with the issues. You know what I mean? So they can reach out, but I think it's not just about them reaching out. It's also about dealing with whatever happened on this day, right? The issue here is that it looks like something significant went down between the two of you that hasn't been dealt with. So like they can reach out and ask for a fresh start, but I think that there's gonna have to be a lot of work that's done to deal with whatever issues came up from that day, either through their words or their actions. Okay, let's look at you. Tell me about Leo's energy right now. So let's take a look. The Chariot, okay. The Chariot is basically saying like, I don't want to be stuck in this situation. I want to try to move forward. Tell me more. Eight of Swords, yeah. But you've been having a lot of doubts about this person, as I think you should, based on what I'm seeing, if I'm being honest, Leo. I look at this and I'm like, this makes sense. I would be surprised if I didn't see this. When your person is acting the way that we've seen within this reading, I think it makes a ton of sense that you're now having some serious doubts about the connection. Tell me more about Leo's energy, please. The Page of Wands. Okay. There's an attraction here. I'm going to throw something out there. I feel like maybe one of the things that sustains the relationship between the two of you is maybe there's like a crazy physical attraction. There's chemistry, there's sparks. And so maybe that's what's holding the two of you together. And I'm not saying the sparks are not good, by the way. We all want chemistry and passion, right? But what else? What else do you need, right? You need the emotional maturity. You need the communication. You need the person creating security for you. And I just wonder if your person is able to give you all of those things. It's like, yeah, you guys might have great chemistry and like have a lot of fun in the bedroom or something like that. Like, sure, that could happen. But I think the question is like, is there more? Because I almost wonder and you can let me know if this connects, Leo. Maybe your person has messed up before and then you kind of forgave them because you got pulled back in because of the chemistry. I get it. We all have moments like that, right? And so I feel though you need to look a little bit further and to say, outside of the chemistry, is this connection meeting my needs in other ways? Those are some questions you might ask yourself. Tell me what Leo could be feeling, please. The Hermit, that's good. This tells me you're going inward, you're doing soul searching, and you're thinking about it. Okay, it tells me that you're taking time here to really think about the whole situation and what has happened. So you can get some perspective here. Tell me more about what Leo could be feeling. The Knight of Cups. Okay. I do think you love them, Leo, or have strong feelings. Like, I'm not saying you don't have feelings for this person. I think you do. But we had the Devil, which is toxic energy. And I just feel like for some of you, again, take it or leave it, you guys. I wonder if some of you are maybe starting to feel like even though there's crazy chemistry and you have these big feelings, maybe there's some toxic shit going down between the two of you and it's become a bit of a pattern. So if you're wanting to work on it with this person, I think the big question is, how are you guys going to work on the toxic stuff? If you're resonating with that message, right? Because it's all well and good to have crazy chemistry and stuff, but like if you're not able to communicate and solve problems, I feel that will lead to continued issues. That's my opinion, but tell me more about what Leo could be feeling. King of Swords. You want to get clarity. You want to communicate. You want to have a conversation. This fits with what I was saying where I'm like, Leo, I think you're the mature one in this situation, right? You're the one who is communicating, trying to communicate, trying to be clear about your feelings, trying to be clear about what's going on. I'm just looking at your person's energy actually, and I'm noticing there's not one single sword card that we pulled for your person. The sword element is about the communication. So we're seeing a lack of communication on your person's part for the most part. You're here in this mature space where you want to talk about what's happening. And the question is like, are they meeting you at that level? What actions could Leo be taking? Two of Cups. Okay, that's fascinating. So Two of Cups tends to indicate feeling like someone is your soulmate. So you do feel strongly for this person. Maybe you're trying to figure out if they truly are your soulmate. Tell me more, please. Eight of Cups, walking away. That's interesting, right? Interesting. You know, sometimes what happens is we start to see someone for who they truly are. That's the message I'm kind of getting here. It's like maybe at first you really felt like this person was your soulmate, but then things started to happen between the two of you and now you're seeing a different side of them. And the reality is like sometimes when we see things, it's like we can't unsee it, right? And so maybe at one point you were like, yes, this is a really good connection, but now with the Eight of Cups, you're like, I don't know if this is serving me anymore because the Eight of Cups is walking away. Tell me more about what actions Leo is taking. The Page of Swords. The message that came to mind strongly when I pulled this card is one last ditch effort at communication. Okay? So that came to mind immediately when I pulled this energy. And what that tells me is maybe what's happening here is you're going to give them one last chance to step it up, be mature, and communicate about what's been going on. Based on the outcome of that conversation, I think you'll make your decision about whether you want to continue to invest in this person or not. Okay, so moment of truth here, Leo. Let's see what the potential outcome is. The World. That's interesting. I'm going to pull two more cards. The World is about wrapping up a cycle. Tell me more about the potential outcome here. Temperance. Bringing a situation into balance. Tell me about the outcome here. Three of Swords. Okay. This could definitely be a situation where you decide to walk away. Okay. I see a lot of potential challenges as we went through the reading. And I think, as always, Leo, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. I'm just telling you what I see in the cards. But I do think the cards are highlighting challenges, issues with communication, potentially toxic cycles that some of you feel you're stuck in. Now, I do see you giving them one last chance. That energy came through very strongly with the Page of Swords. And when I look at the outcome here, it's kind of like you're giving them one last chance to see if you guys can kind of like have a fresh start and fix things. I think with the Temperance card, it's like you're trying to be patient. But the very last card that I drew for the reading today is the Three of Swords, Leo. I mean, that's significant. It's the heartbreak card, right? It suggests things might not work out between the two of you. And honestly, if that's the case, I feel like it's going to be you who walks away because you realize this is not serving your needs. Like, this is unfortunately one of those situations where I'm sure the person you're with is like a lovely person in many ways. Like, when I do these readings and there's tougher energy, it's not to say that they're a bad person or you're a bad person. We're all human, right? But with your person's energy right now, it looks like they have a lot of growing up to do. And that might be something they need to do on their own because I'm seeing a vast difference in maturity between you and this person, Leo. And so again, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. I do get the sense that you'll probably give them one last chance. It kind of feels like they're going to blow it, Leo, honestly, you know, based on this energy. So if they don't, that's great. But I think that some of the things they need to work on might take them a long time, and maybe you decide you don't want to wait for that. And maybe you give them a chance and then they fall right back into the old cycle and you realize enough is enough. I want to get off this roller coaster, you know? So I think there's a lot to think about. At the end of the day, with situations like this, I know it's hard when you feel that strong connection, especially if there's like really good chemistry, but you know, just think about what you want in a relationship, what makes you happy, what you're looking for, and then compare that to what you're getting in this connection. If they don't match, it becomes a question of like, can they get to my level? Can we work on things and like get to a place where it feels good and balanced? Or have I invested in enough and I don't want to invest anymore? These are things that I think you have to think about based on what I see in the reading. At the end of the day, the choice is yours, but the reading today is definitely showing a complicated dynamic, potentially with someone who still has a lot of growing up to do. So I'm going to leave it there for you, Leo. If you enjoyed this reading, you know what to do. Give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And of course, I wish you love and happiness always, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.